Welcome students. Let's continue with the next topic of the biomolecules, that is monosaccharides. So what are monosaccharides? Monosaccharides are the polyhydric. Hydric means alcohol. Okay. So they are the polyhydric means they are containing poly OH group, polyhydroxyl group in this compound, and the functional group which will be present here in this type of hydrocarbon compounds, it will be either aldehydes or ketones, and cannot be hydrolyzed to simpler carbohydrates, and cannot be hydrolyzed to simpler carbohydrates. It means that they are in their simpler form only. They are in their simplest form only, and they cannot be further classified, or they cannot be further be hydrolyzed to the more simpler form. Okay, so that type of saccharides are termed as what? It will be termed as monosaccharides. They will be termed as monosaccharides. Now the name of the monosaccharides will be given if aldehyde group is there. Okay, if aldehyde group is there, then they will be termed as aldoses, and if ketonic group is there, then they will be termed as ketosis. Okay, aldoses and ketosis. And the number of the types of compounds were there. According to that, we will name them. For example, three carbon is there, so it will be termed as trioses. Okay, four carbon are there, then it will be termed as tetroses. And for 4 carbon atom it will be tetroses. For 5 carbon it will be pentoses. Means for 3 carbon it can be trioses. 4 carbon tetroses. 5 carbon pentoses. And like this, the names of the carbon according to the carbon chain we will change it. Okay. Now for ketones, okay, for ketones and for aldones, okay, aldoses, what will be the different examples which we can take here? So for 3 carbon, okay, for C3H6O3, if aldoses is there and ketosis is there, okay, means two different categories I am making here, one from the aldose and one for the ketos. So here two different categories we can take, that is C3H6O3. Okay, so here aldoses. For aldoses, the name will be aldotrioses. Okay, and for keto, it will be ketotriosis. Okay, for 4 carbon atoms, that is C4H8O4, it will be termed as aldotetrosis. Okay, aldotetrosis, while in the case here it will be ketotetrosis. Ketotetrosis. C5H10O5. It will be aldopentoses, ketopentosis. Okay. So like this, the name of the compounds will be given out there for the monosaccharides. Okay, for aldehyde group it will be aldo trioses, aldo tetroses, aldo pentoses according to the number of carbon atom we will name them, and for the ketones it will be termed as keto trioses, keto tetroses, keto pentoses. Like this we will be naming out there. So here keto is representing the ketoses and aldo is representing the aldoses. Now let's talk about the structure of the compounds. So for glyceraldehyde, okay, glyceraldehyde having the formula CH2OH, CHOH, CHO. So the structure here for this compound it will be CH2OH, CH2OH. The structure here it will be CH2OH, COH, H and CHO. This will be the structure for your glyceraldehyde. And similarly, for the compound containing same formula, it will be C6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, H6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, C6, H6, O3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So here for this particular formula, C3H6, sorry, not C6, it will be C3H6O3. For the same molecular formula, if I am going to form the ketones, then it will be CH2OH, C double bond O, CH2OH. And the name will be dihydroxy acetone. Dihydroxy acetone, that is C3H6O3. Okay. So here the compounds structure is generally denoted by the this chain structure, and this chain structure is termed as the Fischer structure. Okay, it is termed as the Fischer representation or Fischer projection. So here we can take one more example for ribose. So ribose is having formula C5H10O5, C5H10O5. So how to draw this diagram? So first 5 carbon atoms, and the last carbon atom will be having H2OH, that is the ethyl group will be present out here. And in the first carbon atom, if I am drawing the aldehyde, then it will be CHO. Then each carbon will be containing 1,1-OH group and 1,1 hydrogen. So this will be the structure for the ribose. Now next is for glucose. So the glucose formula is C6H12O6. So here how many carbon will be required? 6 carbons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. H2OH, CH2OH. Okay. And here then how many hydrogens? Okay, first CHO. Then in the first OH will be there, but in the second OH will be in the opposite side to that of the first. Then in the last two, the OH will be same here like this. So this is the structure for glucose. Okay, this is the structure for glucose, which is a aldohexose. Okay, which is a aldohexose. But if I am trying it for fructose, which is also having the same formula C6H12O6, then here 6 carbon atoms, in which last one is CH2OH, and the second carbon atom will be forming the ketone group here, and the first will be a oxy group here, CH2O. Okay, and the last will be CHOH, the third carbon atom. Okay, then same as that of the glucose only, the third carbon atom will be having the OH group on the opposite side. Left, all the OH group will be on the right hand side only. So this is the structure for the fructose, which is a ketohexose. Okay, which is a ketohexose. Now let's talk about the D and L designations. DL and designations for the saccharides. So the sugars are divided into two saccharides. Sugars can be divided into two families, that is D family, D family and the L family, D family and the L family, and they are having definite configuration. Okay, they are having definite configuration. These configurations are represented with the respect of the glyceraldehyde as the standard. Okay, we are considering the glyceraldehyde as the standard here, and on that we are, on the basis of that we are defining this. The glyceraldehyde of the D and L family can be defined here as, for the D family the glyceraldehyde will be CHOCOH H CH2OH. So here we can see that OH of the glyceraldehyde. Okay, that is the D configuration has the OH attached to the carbon adjacent to the CH2OH. Okay, the carbon attached to the CH2OH. Okay, that carbon atom will be having the OH in the right hand side. The OH in the right hand side in the D family. But while in the L family, the same will change out here, and the OH group will be present in the left hand side. It will be present in the left hand side like this. Okay, so this will be the changes for the D family and L family of the sugars. By convention, a molecule is assigned D if the OH group attached to the carbon atom to the CH2, second to the adjacent to the CH2OH group. Okay, that is the last chiral carbon, is on the right hand side irrespective to the position of the other groups. And on the other hand, the molecules is assigned L configuration if OH group attached to the carbon adjacent to that of the CH2OH group is on the left hand side. Okay, so if on the right hand side, then it will be termed as D family, and if it is in the right hand side to that of the CH2OH adjacent carbon atom, then it will be termed as a left hand side, then it will be termed as a L family sugar. Okay, so hence here the name for the glucose, we can, for taking an example for glucose, we can easily represent this. First we have to make 6 carbon, 1 2 3 4 5 6, CH2OH OH. So here I have taken the OH at the adjacent carbon atom, that is CH2OH adjacent carbon atom on the right hand side. So the name of this compound will be D-glucose. D-glucose. While if I am taking one more example, 3 4 5 6, CH2OH. Here I am taking the OH group on the left hand side of the adjacent carbon to the CH2OH group. Then it will be termed as the L-glucose. The L-glucose. Okay. So this is the way to represent the D and L family. Okay. To represent the D and L family. Now next, let's talk about the first carbon atom, that is the, sorry, the first monosaccharide, that is the glucose. So let's discuss about glucose in details. Glucose occurs in nature in free as well as in combined form, as well as in combined form. Okay, it is generally present in, it is present in sweet fruits and honey. Naturally we can obtain glucose from sweet fruits and honey, sweet fruits and honey. Also, ripe grapes, ripe grapes contains about 20% of glucose. It contains about 20% of glucose, and hence is called, and hence is called grape sugar, and hence it is termed as grape sugar. Okay, so now preparation of grape sugar, that is how to prepare the glucose here. So preparation of glucose, how will we obtain the glucose here? So glucose can be obtained first by sucrose. It can be obtained by sucrose, that is cane sugar. It can be obtained by cane sugar. So what is cane sugar? When sucrose is boiled with HCl, that is dilute HCl, or dilute H2SO4 in alcoholic solution, glucose and fructose are obtained. Okay, glucose and fructose are obtained here. So the formula for sucrose is C12H22O11, which is hydrolyzed, which is hydrolyzed, okay, in the presence of acids to form fructose and glucose. Fructose and glucose. Okay. Also, we can obtain the glucose from starch. We can obtain the glucose from starch. So glucose is produced commercially by the hydrolysis of starch, by boiling it with by boiling it with dilute sulfuric acid at 120 Kelvin temperature under pressure of 2 to 3 atm. Okay, sorry, not 2 to 3 atm, it is 2 to 3 bar. Under pressure 2 to 3 bar. So the reaction here, it will be C6H10O5, that is starch, having n number of the monosaccharide here, C6H10O5. It is been hydrolyzed in the presence of dilute sulfuric acid at 393 Kelvin and 2 to 3 bar pressure. So here the formation of glucose will take place. C6H12O6. Okay, glucose will take place. In this process, an aqueous solution of starch obtained from corn is been acidified. Okay, the starch here is obtained from the starch which is used out here. It is obtained from the corn, and hence it is termed as corn starch. Okay, it is first acidified with H2SO4, and then it is heated at the under the pressure of 2 to 3 bars. Okay, and then the hydrolysis is completed. The liquid is neutralized with the sodium carbonate to a pH of 4 to 5. The resulting solution is concentrated under reduced pressure to get crystal of glucose. Next, structure of glucose. Let's talk about the structure of glucose. So glucose is a aldo hexose, also known as dextrose. The other name of the glucose is dextrose. It is a monomer of many of the larger carbohydrates such as starch. Okay, it is monomer for the polycarbonate for the polycarbohydrates such as starch, for glycogen, for cellulose, etc. It is probably the most abundant compound on earth. It has one aldehyde group and one primary alcoholic group and four secondary alcoholic groups. Okay, so the structure will be aldehyde group, then four secondary alcoholic group, and one primary alcoholic group is there. Okay. Next is the molecular formula. So the molecular formula for glucose is C6H12O6. It is having straight chain. Okay. So how to identify that the straight chain is there? So for the identification of straight chain, of glucose, a reaction can be taken. A reaction can be carried out there. That is, we can use the method that is treating. Okay, with aqueous solution. Of glucose, we are treating it with sodium amalgam or sodium borohydride. Then it is reduced to sorbitol. Okay, it will be reduced to sorbitol. So here glucose, it is been treated or reduced with either sodium amalgam, or we can use here the sodium borohydride, that is NaBH4, to form sorbitol. Sorbitol. Okay, this is sorbitol. Next, for identification of straight chain, we can use another reaction also, where prolonged heating with Hi, that is hydroiodic acid, and red phosphorus at 100 degrees Celsius. So a mixture of hexane, N-hexane and 2-iodohexane will form out there. Okay, so here glucose is reacted with hydroiodic acid in the presence of red phosphorus and a temperature of 100 degrees Celsius. Then a mixture of hexane with iodohexane will take place. CH2 thrice CH3, and here, okay, 2 iodohexane will take place. So it will also denote that the straight chain is present in the glucose. Okay. Next, for the test for the presence of OH group, that is the hydroxyl group. How to test the presence of OH group? So first, we can use the acetylation process. Acetylation process. So acetylation process, we will use acetic anhydride. Okay, glucose reacts with acetic anhydride in the presence of anhydrous zinc chloride to form glucose pentaacetate. Okay, glucose pentaacetate. This is known as the acetylation of glucose. So glucose acetylation will take place. CH3 CO in the presence of anhydrous ZnCl2, that is zinc chloride, to form pentaacetate, to form the pentaacetate, glucose pentaacetate with 5 molecules of acetic acid, acetic acid. So this particular thing confirm the formation of pentaacetyl derivative confirms the presence of 5 OH group here in the glucose molecule. We know the presence of 2 or more OH group on the same carbon atom makes the molecule unstable. Now, since glucose exists as a stable compound, this shows that the 5 OH group should be attached to the different carbon atoms. Okay, it should be attached to the different carbon atoms. Next is the third is the test for the or identification for the presence of an aldehyde group. Okay, presence of the aldehyde group. How we will test this thing or identify this? So for that, two different tests can be there. First is the reaction with HCN, that is hydrogen cyanide. So like aldehyde only, glucose reacts with hydrogen cyanide forming cyanohydrine. Okay, forming cyanohydrine, it will detect or it will identify that the aldehyde group is there present in the glucose. So when reacted with the hydrogen cyanide, it will form CHOH CN, CHOH 4 times, CH2OH. This is cyanohydrine, glucose cyanohydrine. Next, reaction with hydroxylamine, hydroxylamine. So glucose reacts with hydroxylamine to form glucose oxime. Okay, oxime will be formed out here. So here also the confirmation of the, because oximes are formed when aldehyde groups are present, only then the oxides will be formed out with the hydroxylamine. So here the compound which is formed out here, it is oxime, glucose oxime, which confirms that the aldehyde group is present in the glucose. This is glucose oxime with water. Okay, H2O will be released out. Next is the oxidation of glucose. Oxidation of glucose. So oxidation of glucose occurs first with the the glucose gets oxidized to 6 carbon of carboxylic acid, that is gluconic acid, on reaction with mild oxidizing agents like bromine water. So when glucose is been reacted with mild oxidizing agents such as the bromine water, okay, such as the bromine water, then formation of gluconic acid will take place. Since glucose is readily oxidized, it acts as a strong reducing agent and reduces tolerance reagent ammonical silver nitrate and Fehling solution also. Okay, so here as glucose is acting as a strong reducing agent. So what will happen here? Here we will find out that the glucose is giving the silver mirror test also and the Fehling solution test also. Okay, so with the with the tolerance reagent, with the tolerance reagent, we will obtain precipitate of silver there. Okay, the precipitate of silver will be obtained out there, and a silver mirror will be formed on the bottom of the test tube in which the reaction has taken place, and therefore this reaction is termed as silver mirror test. Okay, it will be termed as silver mirror test. This is the tolerance reagent. Next, CHO, CHOH and CH2OH. Copper hydroxide, that is obtained from the Fehling solution. Fehling solution in the presence of NaOH will give COONA, CHOH 4 times, CH2OH plus C2O and 3H2O. So this C2O will be having brick red colored precipitate. Okay, the copper oxide will be having brick red color precipitate, which will be showing that the glucose is been present out there. Okay, next is the strong oxidizing agents like nitric acid. It will oxidize both the terminal groups there. Both the terminal groups of the glucose will be oxidized here to form glucaric acid. Okay, to form the glucaric acid. So both the terminals of the glucose will be oxidized here if strong oxidizing agents such as nitric acid is been used out here. COOH, CHOH, COOH. Okay. Saccharic acid, it is termed as saccharic acid, or the other name is glucaric acid. Okay. Glucaric acid. So for today class, I have taught you about the identification of the straight chain, the identification of the alcoholic groups, the identification of the aldehyde groups present in the glucose. In the next class, we are going to see out the structure of the glucose. Okay, in that we are going to see the cyclic structure of the glucose, the mutarotation of the glucose. Okay, mutarotation in the glucose, and what is the other representation for the structural That is the Haworth representation. Presently, the representation which we have used here, it is the Fisher's representation. The next representation which we are going to study here, that is the structure representation of the Pyrano structure or the Haworth projection for the glucose. So for today, I am closing the class here only. We will meet in the next class. Thank you.